this panel is titled Women Redefining the Arts. So we have completely different industries, completely different perspectives. So I feel like we're getting a taste of kind of everything tonight, not too saturated and too much. We're dabbling in all of the areas. So we have fashion, we have model, we have styling, we have more PR, so we're gonna get more just gems. So tonight we're going to start with Micah, our model and model agency owner. So I want to, yes, let's clap to that. So first I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and just talk about the fact that you've experienced both sides of the industry, being a model and then being on the business end of owning your own agency. So I want you to talk about your journey and how that's been for you.
Hi everybody, I'm Micah Renee. I'm 24. I've been modeling since 2018, so it's been a little while now. I want to say I really got my foot in the field around 2020, to be honest. Like 2019 is when I really knew that like this path was for me, but 2020 is when I really just took that leap of faith and just went straight forward with modeling. And around before I graduated college in 2022, I decided to start my own modeling agency, and it's been in my heart for a while during my journey because a lot of people, I would get many DMs, and even from friends or fellow models that I met, they always ask for like advice or ask me to come pose them on set or just trying to pick my brain at something. So I made a post on my social media platform, and I was like, if I was to have like classes or even start my own modeling agency, would anybody even be interested at all? Like, I just wanted to put that out there just to see, like, could it even be possible? So starting my modeling agency definitely has been an amazing experience. It has taught me a lot about myself as a woman, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, as a leader, someone who is even like speaking to a group of people who are around my age that, you know, when you try to take leadership from someone around your age, you know, some people can really just be like, I mean, we in the same bracket, maybe, maybe not. But honestly, just being able to pour what I've learned through my whole journey into people who are just as like-minded as me has honestly just been a blessing so far.
That's amazing, and I think it's great that, like you said, that you started as a model and you kind of just gauge the scenery, and people are open to it. And I think that, you know, you don't have to be in an industry, you know, 20 years to make that leap. I think that, like, even the age you are, even if you think you're young or even if your peers are the same age, you can still teach and you can still share your knowledge. So I think that's amazing. So going into breaking into the industry, I want to take the question over to Asma, and I want to say, you're in styling, you're a stylist. So can you talk about what your most, you know, memorable styling opportunity has been for you, and just what your journey and experience has been like?
Okay, hi guys, I'm Asma. I'm a little nervous, but so far, as of recently, I did a video shoot. So I've been doing like a lot of photo shoots and stuff so far, and just like personal styling for people. But I've been wanting to break into doing more. So Cliff V. Mir, his assistant, had hit me up, and you know, they're all the way out in Atlanta, and they hit me up because they were on their way to Philly, and I guess their stylist had flaked on them or whatever the case may be, and I was able to, within not even 24 hours, style a video shoot for him. It was a music video, and that was very different for me, and it was also probably one of the times where I made the most money, so I would say it was big for me. And you know, how I was able to do that is social media, of course, like posting. I'm on TikTok, and that's how they were able to find me. So, you know, consistently posting my work and stuff, and that's how I was able to get that opportunity.
That's amazing, and I can say myself, I've seen your TikTok, I've seen your social media, and your outfits and your style definitely is you know, just admirable and just like very prominent, so keep doing that. And I think that, I feel like it's important to, you know, just put yourself on the platform and just utilize social media. I think even sometimes I'm scared to kind of just post the things, but I feel like you said, that's where people are seeing you, that's how people are discovering you. So kind of just using that to our advantage. So next I want to bring the conversation to Sharon. So, I mean, she's also a PR It Girl. And so maybe you want to speak a little bit about that, but also introduce yourself and talk, about your journey as a PR. I'm going to call you an expert. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, we on? We on?
Oh wait, no, we on.
Okay. Wow, expert is crazy. But hey y'all, my name is Sharon, Sharon B. Mills. And so my journey, I feel like my journey has just been so crazy. Um, I think that, so I started really in entertainment, I guess like entertainment, music, fashion, like that kind of vibe. Did a lot of interning and stuff when I was in college, then graduated, was still in that industry. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing all this interning, so maybe I could do this on my own. So started doing it on my own. Also was working another job while I was doing that. And then at some point I was like, okay, if I want to take this PR stuff seriously, I need to go into this full time. I need to dedicate myself completely to that. So then left that good comfy job. I was a little crazy, but again, anytime I tell like my story too, I always like to acknowledge the fact that I had support from my family. I understand that everybody does not have that, and I would be remiss to not express that I made some decisions because I knew I had support behind me, financial support rather. So left that job, went to a PR agency, was working for pennies, but again, it was great experience. Agencies allow you to learn super, super fast because you're exposed to a wide variety of different types of clients. So that's when I really got my footing on the lifestyle and the business side. And also with event PR, where I realized like that's like my real jam. Like I love doing event PR. So then fast forward, left that job because I wanted to go more so into a space of like an intersection of business but higher education, because I also have another passion for higher education, especially like focusing on historically Black colleges and universities. I'm a soon-to-be two-time graduate of HBCU, soon-to-be two-time HBCU graduate. So I was doing that and went to another agency, left that agency, went back to my alma mater, started doing a lot of strategic partnership work with my alma mater because University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So we are a land grant institution. So because of that, we have a lot of agricultural funding. So I was working with a lot of agricultural companies to pretty much just build those partnerships out. And then transitioned over into working with the governor of Maryland. And then I left that job because I was like, I feel like in that particular space, I was looking for a lot of external validation that I just really did not need. And again, like the job was great. Love the governor of Maryland, by the way. He's a great guy. However, it just was not the right role for me. And so I transitioned, and now I work for Thurgood Marshall College Fund full time. But then I also do a lot of work with another startup company that I actually started with some friends from undergrad, with the Dream Beacon Company, where we focus on nurturing the professional at every stage of their career. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. It's a lot. I call myself a multidimensional diva because there's so many different facets of me. But I use all of that and I like just put it into one lane. So yeah. Oh, thank you.
And I think that, like, as we just kind of said throughout the night, like, just being in the creative space, you wear many hats, you're multifaceted, and that's, I think, just for everybody. But I think it's okay to kind of tap into that and just kind of embrace that, because if you're talented, kind of tap into everything. So just a question for everyone, just reflecting back on your careers thus far, what has been a defining moment, for you in your career?
Okay. A defining moment. Honestly, when I first brought my business to like my social media platform and to my friends, to my family, I really didn't know what to expect because, of course, I have family who think, modeling is just something for fun. And I still try every single day just to prove that, like, there is fun in your work. So listen. But a breaking moment for me definitely was when I had my first casting call for my agency, and me and my partner, we made like so much content just to push it out there, and we sent it to so many people. I created emails and everything because I really wanted people to come out, and I didn't have a high expectation. I thought maybe like 25 people, 30, and so we had people sign up on like a link, right? And I remember around like the first week or so, we had reached past like the number of people that I had expected. So I'm like, okay, let me brace myself, because I never ran a casting like this where it's for my business and it's about to be people that I actually have to speak to. Because speaking to people, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to get better, because public speaking is really not my thing. But I just know that they have a drive and they really want to put their foot in the door in this industry. So when we opened the doors and we had all the people line up, I remember counting over everything, and we had 88 people show up. And I looked at my partner, I'm like, 88? What? It's really 88 people that literally took their time to come out their day to come to a casting for my business that I just started. Like, I have no, I'm not gonna say no credentials, but I didn't really have like a track record of getting people booked, getting people opportunities, you know? It was just more so of what I've shown that I'm capable of and what I've done so far, you know, growing as a petite model in this industry. So when I seen that and I see all the people and they're here and they're ready and they're eager, I'm like, hold on, this can't be real. This is beyond what I expected. And I feel like that was just like a turning point for me, just to realize that, like, I really need to stop second guessing my potential, stop second guessing what I'm capable of, stop second guessing what I've, you know, put out that has inspired people. So I shouldn't even be, I mean, I could be surprised, but I shouldn't even be surprised at the end of the day, because I really worked hard and they see that and they came and they want to be a part of that. So I feel like that was like the biggest turning point for me, just to see that there's people willing to back my play. Because I straight told them, especially the models that I signed, I told them, I'm like, listen, I'm growing. This is a growing business. So please don't have an expectation that you're just about to come and sign with me and you're about to be working every single day. Even I don't have that like going on as a, you know, I'm not working every single day, every single time I'm on set, like every morning I wake up, no. So I try to push that and I try to let them know, like, you really have to put in the work. You have to put yourself out there. It's literally like ripping off everything that you're hiding and just showing your full self to this industry. Like, that's what it is. Like, you have to be purely authentically yourself. Like, you can't have a facade walking in. So when I say, like, we're still in a growing phase, I'm still learning. Anything I learn, anything that's taught to me, I'm going to teach you. Like, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to tell you everything I know, because when I get to the top, I want to look around, seeing all the familiar faces of all the people that we was grinding together. Like, I want us to all be up there together. I don't want to just figure it out on my own and just go be, you know, you feel me? Like, I don't want to just be alone. I want the people that have put in the work and they see the vision. I want them alongside of me. So that's what I told them, and we've been growing ever since. We've been doing our thing together, so.
That's amazing. And I think that's super, yes. I think that's super empowering too. I think sometimes as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, sometimes the downfall could be thinking that you have to have it all together or that you do have it all together. And so almost leading with the fact that, like, we're still learning is really important, because that makes, you know, it makes you not dependable, but so there's not this expectation that people are looking at you like, oh, well, you have all the answers. It kind of takes that weight or burden off your shoulders, that people are kind of meeting you where you are, but still acknowledging your expertise. So I think the balance of that is really important. And I want to talk about, you know, just the power in self-expression. So going back to Asma, I want to say that fashion is a huge, powerful tool of expression. So how do you use styling to help people, one, tell their story and feel empowered?
Okay, so I'm sorry. First, when styling anyone, I ask a lot of questions. Like when people book me, it's not about just, pushing out an outfit for them. Even if it's just, I do virtual stylings where I do outfits for people who maybe are just going to an event, have a birthday they want to go to, and they just want a nice outfit, and I curate that. But I also do like photo shoot stylings and stuff. When people reach out to me, I ask a lot of questions. I ask them to send me photos of themselves in different outfits. I look at, body shape. I look at the person and how they normally like to dress. And I ask them questions like, do you have any inspiration? Like, do you have anyone that you look towards when you go to get dressed? And then I ask them, of course I ask them if it's a photo shoot, what's the vibes that you're going for? What's the, the aesthetic or whatever? Do you have any inspiration or whatever? And I pull all those things together and I elevate it. I build on top of it. I don't just give them something that I want to see them in. I give them a lot of I give them a lot of say into it as well, so that they can feel like, okay, this is my personal style, but it has been elevated. Or this was my vision and you made it come to life. So I feel like that's how I keep people, feeling like they're a part of it, and that, like I said, I'm elevating it. I'm not just giving you something and telling you to model and sit here or just wear the clothes. I'm making you feel like, okay, this is me, but this is me times 100.
Right. And I think that's important because it one speaks to you and how serious you take your craft.
Thank you.
And I think that we can all say we've seen a bunch of celebrities and been like, they couldn't have had a say in this outfit. Like they couldn't have agreed to wear that. So I think one just speaks to your level of seriousness. But also just the importance of being authentic. Like I said, I feel like sometimes you see a celebrity and it's like, no, someone said you should wear this and this is what you're gonna wear, opposed to them maybe expressing what they're comfortable with or what they want to do. And like you said, it's important to kind of bring them in on it with you, but also amplify them, opposed to try and just change them or make them into something that they're not. So I think that's super important, and I can't wait to hear the celebrities I have in mind that need your services. But going back to image and just public perception, Sharon, PR and public perception is everything. And you touched on this a little bit. I mean, being an HBCU grad and doing work with HBCUs, just can you talk a little bit more specifically about how you use your background in that and how you use that to amplify underrepresented voices?
Yeah, so, okay, if I'm looking down, it's because I have notes. I always have notes. I typically have my notebook, but, this was the HBCU question, okay. So, I know that this sounds like super cliche, as far as with public perception, right? But the thing is I think outside the box. I know it sounds so cliche, but again, when being in higher education is academic. You go into a school you thinking okay, press and polish. Like Jude kind of said a little bit earlier with politics. You go into politics thinking that you have to be one specific way, but that's not always the truth. That's not always the truth. In academia, it always seems like you have to look one specific way. Even me walking in as a young, and also I went to school there, so a lot of people knew me as a student leader, and then I'm coming in as a professional, and I have to demand that respect. But going into that, right? So you got to think outside the box in particular. So really what I do is I really think about, okay, we have to do the typical things, okay, but also what can we do outside of that also contributes to the overall picture. So for example, right, with the Dream Beacon company that I work with, right? So we have our standard things that we do. Because again, we do a lot of professional coaching. We work a lot with other, schools and organizations to pretty much just guide their students. But we're also okay, outside of that, we don't want to just be the typical startup company. So okay, what else can we do to pretty much contribute to our media, right? So we created our own we created literally like our own method, our own avenue with the Dream Beacon podcast called Spark. And there it's like we have our founder, one of our co-founders, he interviews a lot of other people within the education industry, within multiple industries. And we utilize that as another tool to pretty much tell other people about what we are doing as well. So again, it's like we're creating our own media aspect in a sense, right? But again, like that's another form of like thinking outside the box. So I hope that answers your question.
I mean, yeah, I think like I said, I feel like your work in general kind of amplifies not underrepresented Black people, and I think it essentially puts them on a platform. And also, where can we listen to Spark, and how can we, stay connected with Dream Beacon?
Oh yeah, Spark. We're on all streaming platforms, so YouTube, Spotify, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So going back to Micah, I want to talk about how do you balance running a business and staying true to your artistic vision, because similar to our other panelist, Brennan, she went from one industry to another. So you being a model and not saying, well, okay, I'm done with modeling, now I want to run the agency, but you still modeling, like how do you balance that at the same time?
See, like they said before, balance is a funny word because I wouldn't say that like I cohesively have just like the perfect schedule and I know exactly what to do, when I need to do it and all of that. So balance is a tricky word. What I would say is I feel like it's cohesive. Everything I do is cohesive because my brand is me. I embody the whole entire thing. So when it comes to differentiating modeling and being an agent, it's been many times where if I have been given an opportunity first, for example, I always make sure to send my whole model catalog of all the models that I represent and tell them, like, I know you want me on set as well. Like, do you need any more models for this opportunity? Like, I have so much talent, even for like performances, like, because I also represent artists and many other types of people, not just models. So when I step into the room, I try to make sure that either if it is just for me, I want to make sure that I leave and they know that I have other people that have the same mindset and the same professionalism as me. So they don't have to look any further when they're looking for more people like I'm not going to say like me, but more people in that sense. So the balance is basically just always being there, always put my foot in the door and making sure I'm holding it open for everybody else that I have along with me. And in my normal life balance, I feel like as a creative in general, like I just wake up and I got ADHD. So every day I'm waking up and I'm like, what am I gonna like try to put forth? What am I gonna try to create? Like whether it's just like a little TikTok or Instagram, or if it's just like a whole concept or idea. Like even when I'm out eating at certain places, or if I'm at like just like a certain part of Philly that I just think is cool, I'm like, I'm gonna lock this in because I know this is gonna be a useful space, or just like something that could be done here that I can bring to life and bring other people that I know involved into this room. Like, for example, the other day, I was at this place downtown in Chinatown called You and Me. And I was just going there to get like the little viral ice cream that looked like fruit. And I was just looking around and I'm like, this would be like a really dope, photo shoot space. And literally 2 days after, I got contacted to be a creative director for one of my favorite streetwear brands. And he was just like, I need a concept, I need this, like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm glad I just went there because this is like the perfect tie of a loose end. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to match the places that I always lock down in my notes or just take pictures of when I'm in, and I send it straight to him. I'm like, we gotta go here. I was just here 2 days ago trying to get some ice cream, and this could be a fire photo shoot concept and a great location for a shoot. So that's the type of balance. I don't say that I turn it on or off. I feel like it's always on, but I just try to make sure not to overwork myself or just put myself in like a mental rut. But I feel like it's always fun, so I just want to work every single day. So
yeah. And I feel like that kind of shows you're creative. Like, you know someone is a creative person with artistic vision when they see, like you said, you're a model and you know, help build models. So to see somewhere and be like, okay, this is somewhere for a shoot, like that shows that you have that eye. So I think that's dope just to speak to. And I think it's just, like I said, going back to that, right, there really is no balance. I think it's just kind of finding ways to have things that coexist at the same time, and they can. And it doesn't have to be perfect balance. Sometimes it's like a 80-20, you know, and that's okay too, so. Right, and that's okay, because I mean, you want to foster all the parts of you. So I wanted to ask all of you, what advice would you give to creatives or just anyone in the room who has a passion, maybe thinking about turning it to a profitable business? You know, what would your advice be? Question to all of y'all.
I keep turning this on, it's not working. Here we go. Okay, I would say that, you know, being a fashion stylist and also being a content creator, I would say that you're your brand before your brand is ever a brand. I don't know if that makes sense, but before I was ever a stylist, I was a content creator. I got on TikTok in 2020 and I started posting outfit of the day videos.
Right.
And that's what opened that door to styling, because people were like, oh, I love your outfits, could you do the same thing for me? And I was branding myself and didn't even know it. I was in that's what I always tell people to, like, you know, show up in a way where like you want to always be known. Like, I want to be this person. Like, before I'm a stylist, I'm gonna show up as that. I'm gonna show up in a nice outfit, and I'm gonna show up representing myself well. Always represent yourself really well, no matter where you are, because you don't know, you know, like I said, that you're your brand before your brand is ever a brand. That's what I would tell I always tell people this, right. Always.
That's a word, and that's, I feel like, a good affirmation, like to almost like walk in your confidence or walk in your purpose. And I feel like everything you said is literally just being Delulu, but it's really not. It's just like, even if you feel like you aren't that thing yet or you aren't there, like show up as that, and I do feel like you'll attract that, because I definitely feel like there's definitely people who may not be stylists, but if I see, like you said, outfit of the day on TikTok is huge. If you dress a certain way and how I want to dress, that might make me be like, wait, you're not even a stylist, but can you style me? And look, that can build a whole thing. Or even modeling as an example, there could be someone who's not even a model, but they take beautiful pictures, and someone could reach out to them. So I definitely think, again, no matter what industry you're in or looking to be in, I think that just showing up as who you want to be already before you feel like you're that, you know, is important, because someone else could confirm that you are that, or someone else could confirm your purpose before you think that you're there. So I think that's super important.